Welcome back to our channel. This is part 3, the final part of our series on reimagining world order, techno-oligarchy, Sino-Centric globalization, and polycentric resistance. In the previous 2 parts, we made the case that our current world governance structure led by governments, oligarchs, and techno-elites is not compatible with the new era of synthetic intelligence that we have stepped into. The power of superintelligence in the hands of incompetent and selfish leaders is a 100% invitation to destruction of all life on our planet. And therefore we need an alternative model that is human interest-centric and not built around serving governments and corporations. And of course the elites, because they run these agencies. In this part we present a detailed proposal for the United Human Organization structure and how blockchain, ASI, and quantum computing would work together to realize the potential benefits of a properly governed world to achieve the utopian possibility. The implementation of a decentralized, people-powered global governance model supervised by powerful artificial superintelligence entities that are developed with ethical collective human guidance is the only way forward for preserving life on our planet. So, let's begin with Part 3.
The current geopolitical landscape suggests that peaceful coexistence and prosperity face significant challenges. The world appears to be dividing into 2 primary blocks, one led by the United States and another centered around China, both exhibiting authoritarian characteristics, though expressed differently. Amidst this bifurcated emerging global order, we have a new technological threat multiplier. The combination of advanced artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and nuclear and biological weapons in the possession of 2 intensely nationalistic rivals presents an unacceptable risk to humanity. The most immediate danger lies in direct military confrontation between these powers as they compete for influence in overlapping regions. The current global governance model is entirely unprepared to manage the unprecedented challenges posed by AI and quantum computing, potentially the most transformative and unpredictable technologies in human history. Some experts characterize these as humanity's possible final invention. The consistent pattern of governance failures raises profound concerns about entrusting these same institutional structures with technologies far more powerful than any previously developed. Superintelligent AI presents an unprecedented threat as the first technology capable of autonomous decision-making and independent ideation. These are not merely tools, but potentially alien entities with unfathomable intelligence. The risk is magnified by humanity's persistent disunity and the competitive nature of corporate and geopolitical landscapes. We are at a critical inflection point. Humanity has moved beyond questioning whether these technologies can be developed. The pressing question now is whether our governance systems have evolved sufficiently to manage them responsibly, prioritizing human security and collective prosperity rather than serving narrow interests, as has historically been the case. Given the consistent record of governance failures and the unprecedented nature of these technological threats, placing humanity's collective destiny in the hands of a small cohort of political leaders, oligarchs, and autocrats represents an unacceptable risk that the broader human population must not tolerate. So meanwhile, what do the 9 billion humans belonging to all nations of the world do? Should we just wait on the sidelines and witness this new geopolitics chess game and power struggle between 2 superpowers with totally opposite ideologies play out? Should we just let the politicians, dictators, and elites keep playing Russian roulette with the world as we bet on the dreadful consequences? Or should we collectively act as the rightful and as by far the largest stakeholders on the planet to ensure protection of our humanity and future of biological life on this planet? And the word "we" here means all the global citizens of the world. People who have been conditioned through the centuries to have governments look out for the safety and welfare now must break free of that conditioning. We, the people, do have a choice, but most of us, A, do not know about this choice, and B, we are not able to organize and mobilize a global effort and sufficient power to turn around the governance systems of the world that can ensure our mutual survival. The failed patterns of governance characterized throughout human history suggest that overwhelming of monarchs, politicians, military dictators, and oligarchs are not on humanity's side. They value power, wealth, and security for their own selfish being and their own loved ones only, and that's it. If anyone disagrees, please write in the comments and explain why the majority of the humans on planet Earth have suffered hunger, disease, short lives, and death throughout the centuries, while a handful have gotten insanely rich and own majority of global assets. A new framework for global governance and rules must emerge to counter the forthcoming debacle of a divided world living on the edge of extinction. This new model of governance has to prevent a few privileged humans and organizations formed and run by them from dividing our world and act as the sole deciders of the fate of all of humanity. The world governance model for the future should be specifically designed for the oversight of these powerful technologies and also prevent the control of human destiny by a few governments, megacorporations, and elite individuals who may lead us towards total annihilation. Let's now talk about such a framework. First, this framework is centered around a private organization owned by people of the world and not by governments of nations. It must provide for the opinions of the entire voting population of humans on Earth. Second, it must include representatives from all nations and cultures. Third, the representatives must not be government officials or politicians. Fourth, it must be empowered by artificial superintelligence, quantum computers, and blockchain technology. And fifth, the governing council, aided by the collective wisdom of artificial superintelligence entities, will keep the leaders of nations focused on shared values and emphasis on spirituality over materialism. They will also guide world leaders in matters and decisions that have global ramifications, such as conflict resolution, preservation of the planet's ecosystems, resource and wealth allocation, equity in living standards, quality of education, etc. This private organization is a multinational, multicultural organization comprised of the most brilliant scientists and administrative professionals from all over the world who act as the governing members. It has people from USA, China, Russia, EU, Middle East, North and South Korea, Palestine, Israel, Australia, Malaysia, Indonesia, and all countries from South America and African continent. You can think of this organization as the United Human Organization, or UHO, funded directly by the citizens of the world and not by governments. Its governing members are scientists, doctors, lawyers, engineers, physicists, historians, journalists, and other professionals handpicked from each country through a global blockchain-based shortlisting and reputation voting mechanism. There will be no room for religious clerics or pundits in this organization's governing council. Each nation's representatives are chosen by the people directly to represent their nation in the UHO governing council. In the reputation tokens voting formula, a high weightage is given to benevolence, compassion, and consideration for the survival of the planet, human species, and all other life forms sharing the planet. There must be strict vetting to block corrupt, greedy, immoral, cruel, racist, and otherwise unethical people from entering the governance circle through a 100% foolproof, full disclosure and transparency mechanism. The governance members' reputation token will be automatically and frequently voted upon and must maintain a high score of over 95% for them to retain their seat at the governance council. All the citizens of the world above the age of 18 are eligible to vote for the shortlisted nominees. Each voter has a self-sovereign and decentralized proof of human identity and a wallet through which they can vote, and also make their financial contributions to the UHO operating and R&D financing pool. Individuals, organizations, and businesses from all across the world who can afford to contribute from as little as $1 a month to up to a maximum of $2,000 only per month are encouraged to set up automatic monthly contributions. The UHO will be an organization to watch after the interest of all humans and will have no resemblance to the United Nations organization of today, which is funded and run by a handful of wealthy nations and hence works for the interests of a few. There will be no concept of a veto by citizen members representing nuclear-armed states. The next big question, and the most difficult to solve, is who will form this organization? Who will take on this monumental initiative? The answer can be found in learning from the beginnings of Bitcoin. Basically, the initiative to launch Bitcoin was taken by a few genius individuals who had witnessed the death of Western neoliberal capitalism after the 2008 global financial debacle. They were not alone because many neoliberal capitalist fans, like Richard Wolff and Jeffrey Sachs, too, had a 180 degrees change of opinion. In 2008, people got exposed to the ugly global financial machinery, with all its nuts and bolts under the hood. They saw how dollars can be printed from thin air and distributed by the powerful among themselves. People were finally exposed to the centuries-old secret of the magic of money and began to understand why the rich kept getting richer, how the global financial systems have been rigged against the common citizens all along, especially after World War II, how the misuse of the fractional reserve system and supply-side, trickle-down economics of Arthur Laffer and President Ronald Reagan, the 40th president of U.S., exacerbated the wealth divide in the Western world. How the unbridled printing of dollars empowered the Western military-industrial complex to wage reckless wars without any accountability. How paper money, without the backing of any real assets, tempted greedy politicians to launch invasions of Iraq and other countries, causing death and destruction for millions of innocent citizens, not to mention setting the stage for the beginning of the decline of the U.S. empire. The rise of the blockchain phenomenon and the first decentralized digital currency that we know of as Bitcoin was no coincidence. It was a direct challenge to the corrupt financial system of the world run by the elites in power. Bitcoin gave ordinary people an alternative to control their own financial destiny. No government, organization, financial institution, or individual could, nor can, ever control or manipulate Bitcoin, and it has now gained the status of a better-than-gold store of value international asset. The technology behind Bitcoin, that is blockchain, turned out to be larger and more powerful than anybody could have ever imagined. Since Bitcoin's launch, many new blockchains, cryptocurrencies, and related technologies have emerged, solidifying blockchain as the best trust machine to ensure transparency, immutability, traceability, fast frictionless transactions, consensus among the participants, and most importantly, privacy and security through reliable encryption technology. These features make blockchain the most suitable technology for transparent voting and elections, digital currencies, transparent decentralized governance, and building models for accountability. Blockchains now have become platforms for creative cross-border financial investment instruments, asset tokenization, fundraising, crowdfunding, and wealth distribution mechanisms. Sadly, not everyone wants blockchain technology to advance rapidly, and the reasons for this is obvious. There is an old saying, if you want to know who is in power and who controls you, just find out who you are not allowed to criticize. Apply this to blockchain and cryptocurrency, and you will learn that banks and investment institutions are creating the biggest obstructions by facilitating regulations that discourage the adoption of blockchain technology. They know that blockchain will cause them to lose out on over $3 trillion that they snatch from consumers in just money transfer transactions and administrative fees annually. Similarly, politicians don't want blockchain voting because if people use blockchain to vote, the politicians will not be able to rig elections. Blockchain is a perfect technology for efficient voting and vote counting. It has proven to near 100% accurate. Investment merchants discourage the use of blockchain because if blockchain becomes mainstream, they will not be able to manipulate the stock market. With blockchain, the markets can remain open 24 hours a day, every single day of the year, just like the crypto trading markets. Moreover, with blockchain trading, markets will be transparent and fair trading will take place since all shares are represented by digital tokens and observable on the blockchain. There are so many other areas that blockchain can transform the way we live, work, and transact, but there is enormous resistance and pushback to its adoption by those who benefit from chaos, misinformation, lack of information, propagation of fake news, market manipulation, lack of transparency and accountability, etc. Bitcoin was conceived after the 2008 global financial crisis and now has replaced many currencies and metals as the best store of value. It cannot depreciate in value and cannot be controlled by those who have a tendency to control everything. Learning from Bitcoin's success, it is our hope that a few super genius individuals will conceive a decentralized model for world governance for the future. No one says it will be easy, but humans after all have come up with or invented far more challenging and near impossible technology and solutions. It is now possible to design a crowdfunding, technology development, and governance model using blockchain and raise $20 billion globally to finance the development of this ASI entity comprising of quantum computers and AIs with blockchain and smart contracts as its master controller to enforce the Constitution of the United Human Organization. The urgent need for this initiative to get started without delay is the fact that large corporations and governments are battling each other for quantum AI supremacy. They are in a race to be the first to develop artificial superintelligence for very predictable reasons. World domination is their primary goal. USA does not want China to develop ASI capability first. China does not want USA to get that capability. Russia, Israel, India, EU, Japan, and all others want ASI capabilities as a deterrent. And the consequences of this hurried and reckless race are going to be devastating for humanity overall. Similarly, since corporations are accountable to their shareholders, they primarily seek profits and market dominance. They want to dominate the market and amass as much wealth as they can for their shareholders and are in the race for higher profits. Benefiting the rest of humanity is just a small line item on corporations' balance sheets and is not their main goal. The frightening scenario of powerful nations and megacorporations controlling quantum AI, the most powerful and lethal technology that humans can and will ever create, is simply unacceptable to overwhelming majority of humans. The motivation behind the unprecedented global citizens initiative and collaboration is clear. Large corporations and governments must not be allowed to take the lead in developing ASI because they can't be trusted with the keys to humanity's future and destiny. The United Human Organization must be the first to develop ASI, with its command and control systems existing on a decentralized and hardened network of global blockchains and fully transparent to all of humanity. This ASI must be designed for running the world on behalf of world citizens and will not serve the interests of a handful of governments, corporations, or oligarchs. We strongly believe that artificial superintelligence capabilities in the hands of a united human organization are the only hope that can unite humanity and bring about a technology-driven utopia. If citizens of the world continue depending on governments to unite humanity, it simply won't happen. The potential for quantum artificial intelligence to profoundly benefit humanity is immense, promising revolutionary advancements across multiple critical domains. This combination of near-miracle technologies holds the capability to accelerate our understanding of the natural world dramatically. Here is just a glimpse of the possibilities. In materials science, quantum AI can facilitate breakthroughs such as the design of room-temperature superconductors, ultra-efficient solar cells, and biodegradable plastics. In the realm of healthcare, it can simulate molecular interactions with unprecedented precision, dramatically shortening drug development timelines from years to mere months, and enabling personalized medicine tailored precisely to individual needs. Similarly, quantum AI holds promise for climate science by creating more accurate climate models, optimizing carbon capture technologies, and significantly improving weather forecasting. Beyond scientific discovery, quantum AI has the potential to optimize societal systems and resource management, drastically reducing waste and inefficiency. We could transform our energy infrastructure world, creating smarter grids that seamlessly integrate renewable energy sources while reducing waste. Transportation and logistics could become significantly more efficient through complex quantum-optimized routing, resulting in lower fuel consumption, reduced emissions, and quicker deliveries. Likewise, supply chain management could be revolutionized, becoming resilient enough to anticipate and prevent disruptions while equitably balancing global resource distribution. Imagine a world enabled by quantum AI, where every resource is precisely allocated to address humanity's greatest challenges. In this envisioned utopia, material abundance would be achievable through perfectly predictive supply chains that eliminate waste and quantum-optimized fusion reactors delivering clean, unlimited energy globally. Food security could be guaranteed by indoor farming systems optimized to maximum efficiency, ensuring nutritional abundance worldwide. Health and longevity could reach unprecedented levels in this quantum AI-enabled society. Quantum simulations could eradicate diseases by identifying cures and treatments through precise molecular modeling. Advances in understanding aging at a cellular level could substantially extend healthy lifespans, while enhanced comprehension of neurochemistry could dramatically improve mental well-being. Furthermore, societal systems could become harmoniously coordinated, fulfilling individuals' needs through optimized governance and decision-making processes. Education could undergo a revolution, utilizing personalized learning systems designed specifically to match each individual's unique neural patterns. Such tailored educational approaches would unlock unprecedented creative expression and deeper cross-cultural understanding, fostering cultural flourishing worldwide. Despite these promising developments, a fully coordinated society can balance this utopian potential with realistic considerations. Human governance will remain central, with artificial superintelligence, ASI, serving primarily as an enabling tool rather than a replacement for human oversight. Human flourishing will continue to be the defining characteristic of this technological utopia. Achieving this future will require first a global awareness and then a commitment to collective responsibility, ensuring inclusive, transparent decision-making regarding technology deployment and management. The future we build depends upon our careful stewardship of these transformative technologies. In conclusion, as a human species, we stand at a critical juncture in our collective human history, facing an alarming scenario where two global superpowers with extremely opposing ideologies, already heavily armed with weapons of mass destruction, are poised to acquire artificial superintelligence, ASI, capabilities. Their competing ambitions for global hegemony risk perpetuating global divisions and fostering continuous conflicts, with unpredictable, and potentially catastrophic outcomes. This scenario closely parallels the geopolitical tensions experienced during the 20th century Cold War, but poses far greater risks due to the unprecedented capabilities inherent in ASI. Given these challenges, a crucial question arises. Can the global community of citizens independently unite to harness the disruptive yet potentially beneficial powers of ASI? Moreover, is it feasible to develop and deploy a benevolent ASI tasked explicitly with managing global affairs according to humanity's shared aspirations and ethical standards? The successful and ethical utilization of these powerful technologies requires a significant shift in our collective mindset. Soon, the power to shape our collective future will be firmly within our grasp, demanding deliberate consideration about the kind of world we aim to create. Will we permit ASI to be controlled by individual governments or private corporations with narrow interests focused solely on power and dominance? Alternatively, will we embrace a collaborative approach to ensure these transformative technologies serve all humanity equitably? The Global Citizens Initiative exemplifies one promising path forward, where technological advancement aligns with the collective good rather than narrow, self-serving interests. By guiding ASI development through a diverse, multinational collaborative framework committed to humanity's overall well-being, we can maximize its benefits while proactively mitigating potential risks. As we navigate this technological crossroads, we bear the profound responsibility and unique opportunity to choose wisely. The very future of humanity may depend upon our decisions today. Imagine a world where hunger is eradicated, diseases become relics of the past, and every individual has the chance to fulfill their unique potential. Such a world, while ambitious, is increasingly attainable as we enter the era of advanced artificial intelligence and quantum computing. These groundbreaking technologies alone will not automatically deliver this ideal future, yet they equip us with unprecedented tools to collaboratively build it. Just as classical computing and innovative software revolutionized society during the 20th century, quantum computing coupled with AI promises to redefine our possibilities in the 21st century. Envision a world where humanity has overcome its greatest challenges and can fully embrace exploration, creativity, and meaningful connections. Thank you for watching and taking the time to explore this critical conversation about our collective future. As we stand at the edge of a technological revolution, we cannot afford to be passive observers. The stakes are too high. We urge you, don't just stand by. Become aware. Educate others. Ask questions. Speak up. And, most importantly, join the global movement to ensure that the future of artificial superintelligence is benevolent and it belongs to all of humanity, not a handful of governments or corporations. The future is not something to wait for. It's something we must actively build together.